Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Flash, the place where you don't get the sugar-coated dealership rehearsals, you don't get scripted marketing pitches, and you definitely don't get the same recycled lines that you've already heard 100 times before. Here, it's raw, it's real, and it's all about giving you the truth behind today's cars, so that when you're ready to make that big decision, you actually know what you're getting into. And today, I've got something for you that blends rugged adventure with everyday comfort, a car that has carried a reputation for being the ultimate do-it-all family wagon with the wild side. I'm talking about the brand new 2026 Subaru Outback. Exterior. Now, if you know anything about the Outback, you know it's been one of Subaru's icons for decades. It's the go-to car for people who love road trips, people who live in the mountains, and people who just want something reliable that can handle snow, dirt, gravel, and anything life throws at it. The 2026 model takes everything the Outback has been and sharpens it up for the modern era. Subaru didn't reinvent the formula, but what they did was evolve it in a way that makes this Outback more appealing, more premium, and more capable than ever before. Starting with the design, when you see the new Outback from the front, it immediately looks tougher and more refined than last year. Subaru gave it a larger, more sculpted grille that has a slightly bolder hexagonal shape. It's outlined with thicker black cladding that makes the car look more rugged but still premium. The headlights are sharper, slimmer, and now feature Subaru's latest LED matrix technology, which automatically adjusts the beam for oncoming traffic. Down low, the bumper has been reworked with bigger air intakes, a skid plate-style design, and a more muscular stance. It's one of those front ends that says, yeah, I'm a family car, but I can also take you camping in the Rockies without breaking a sweat. From the side, the Outback still carries its iconic long roof wagon profile, but Subaru has modernized it. The lines are cleaner, the roof rails are now more flush and aerodynamically shaped, and the cladding around the wheel arches is chunkier. You also notice the ride height is still higher than a typical crossover, sitting at about 8.7 inches of ground clearance on most trims, and over 9 inches if you go for the Wilderness Edition. That's more clearance than some mid-size SUVs, which means the Outback isn't just pretending to be adventurous, it's genuinely built for it. The wheel options go from a sleek 18-inch design for the lower trims to more aggressive 20-inch sets for the higher trims, with finishes that range from silver to matte black. Swinging around to the back, the 2026 Outback gets a freshened up rear design that looks tighter and more athletic. The taillights are slimmer and more angular, with a new LED signature that stretches wider across the hatch. The bumper is more squared off with a hint of sportiness, and depending on your trim, you'll either get polished metallic accents or blacked-out rugged finishes. Subaru also reshaped the rear hatch to give it the slightly wider opening, which makes loading camping gear, groceries, or even a mountain bike just a little easier. It's practical, but it's also stylish in a way that older Outbacks could never quite manage to pull off. Interior. Open the doors and step inside, and you immediately feel how Subaru has taken things up a notch. The 2026 Outback interior is more premium, more tech-focused, but still very functional. The first thing your eyes land on is the massive 12.3-inch vertical touchscreen right in the middle. It's crisp, responsive, and finally feels modern compared to Subaru's older systems. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard across the lineup, and higher trims give you built-in navigation, a Harman Kardon sound system, and even a digital personal assistant that responds to natural voice commands. Right behind the steering wheel, you get a fully digital instrument cluster on the upper trims, which shows maps, safety alerts, and customizable layouts. Lower trims keep a partly digital, partly analog setup, which is still clear and easy to read. The cabin materials have also taken a step up. Base models use durable cloth that feels ready for dogs and kids, while the mid and higher trims give you leather or StarTex water-repellent upholstery, perfect for outdoor lifestyles. The stitching details are finer, the dashboard has softer touch points, and the overall layout feels cleaner and less cluttered than before. And because Subaru knows people actually use these cars for long trips, they didn't forget comfort. The seats are supportive, heated in both front and rear on most trims, and ventilated up front if you go for the touring model. The panoramic sunroof is larger this year, letting in more natural light, which makes the cabin feel airy and spacious. Passenger space has always been one of the Outback's strong suits, and nothing changes here. The rear seats have excellent legroom, headroom is generous even with the sunroof, and you get rear climate vents and USB-C ports to keep everyone happy. Behind the second row, cargo space is still huge, with more than 32 cubic feet of room, expanding to over 75 cubic feet when you fold the rear seats flat. Subaru even added a hands-free power tailgate that responds quicker than before, which is handy when you're carrying gear. Now, let's talk performance, because the Outback has always been about more than just looks and space. Subaru continues to offer two engine choices for 2026. The standard engine is a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated flat-4, producing around 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. It's not going to win any drag races, but it's reliable, efficient, and perfectly fine for everyday driving. For those who want more punch, there's a 2.4-liter turbocharged flat-4 that cranks out 268 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. That engine gives the Outback a serious boost in acceleration, especially when merging on the highway or passing on a two-lane road. Both engines are paired to Subaru's continuously variable transmission, which has been tuned better this year for smoother response. And of course, Subaru's legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive is standard across the board, which gives the Outback its signature go-anywhere confidence. X-Mode off-road settings are still here, letting you adjust traction for snow, dirt, and mud. If you step up to the wilderness trim, you get even more rugged features: skid plates, all-terrain tires, a unique suspension setup, and gearing tuned specifically for off-road conditions. This isn't just for show, it actually makes the Outback capable of tackling trails that most crossovers would never dare. Fuel economy is solid, too. The base engine gets around 26 miles per gallon in the city and 33 on the highway, while the turbo settles closer to 23 city and 30 highway, depending on your trim. Subaru hasn't gone hybrid with the Outback yet, but there are whispers that a hybrid variant could arrive later in the model cycle. On the road, the Outback drives exactly as you'd expect: comfortable, stable, and confident. It's not overly sporty, but it doesn't feel sloppy either. The suspension tuning strikes a great balance between soaking up bumps and keeping the car composed in corners. The steering is light but accurate, and visibility is excellent thanks to Subaru's thoughtful window design. It's a car that feels right at home on highways, dirt roads, or snowy mountain passes, which is exactly the point. As for safety, Subaru continues to push its EyeSight driver assistance system. For 2026, it gets wider-angle cameras, improved pedestrian detection, and smoother adaptive cruise control. You also get lane centering, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and an available driver attention monitoring system. Subaru wants you to feel secure, and the Outback delivers in that department. Now let's talk about money, because that's always the big question. The 2026 Subaru Outback starts at around $31,000 for the base trim. Step up to the premium, and you're looking at around $33,500. The Onyx Edition XT, with its blacked-out look and turbo engine, runs closer to $38,000. The Wilderness Edition lands just under $40,000, while the fully loaded Touring XT tops out around $45,000. For what you get in terms of versatility, comfort, tech, and off-road shops, it's still one of the best deals in its class. So, after spending time with the 2026 Subaru Outback, what's the verdict? Honestly, it's exactly what an Outback should be: practical, rugged, safe, and ready for adventure, but now with a little more polish, a little more technology, and a little more refinement. It's not trying to be flashy or overly luxurious, but it nails its role as the ultimate adventure wagon that doubles as a family car. If you want something reliable that can handle just about anything, and you don't want to blend into the sea of crossovers out there, the Outback is still one of the smartest buys you can make. That's it for today's review of the 2026 Subaru Outback. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Car Flash, and ring the bell so you never miss our latest car reviews. Drop a comment below and let me know, would you pick the Outback over something like a Toyota RAV4, a Honda CR-V, or maybe even a Jeep Cherokee? I love hearing your thoughts, and your feedback helps keep this channel real and raw. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.